Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. Please do bear with me, my throat is absolutely dying, but I had to get a couple of videos out for you guys, progress and everything. So guys, XPR Proton, well obviously it's not gone as well as it was a week or so ago, but that was kind of to be expected. Now we're not all about hype on this channel. We want to look at opportunities both on the way down as well as on the way up. There's a couple of observations that I want to bring to the table in this particular area that we are in. Now, what I will suggest is a lot of people sort of jumped into XPR and saw the big massive influx, the big greens coming in. Always along the way, we always say this in every video, and again, it's down to your own strategy, and this is not financial advice, but do try and take profits along the way, depending on the circumstance of when you entered and things like that, and the gains that you're trying to achieve, because it doesn't always go up and up and up forever. Okay, so there's a couple of things we pointed out a few videos back, about the RSI being high and to be conservative about investing. Not saying that it's a terrible project or anything, but there's always an opportunity that it may start coming down when you get to those heights. These are particularly interesting because we had these sort of midpoints back here around the end of September, and to be honest, it is quite a difficult thing to track because the beginning of October we are very high on that RSI throughout, really, until quite recently. So it's been kind of like pushing itself to new heights all the time, and it was so exciting to see that, of course. And I still think XPR is massively undervalued. I guess the price is still reflective on its age, but in terms of its opportunity and what it's capable of, we're very early in this project, guys. So there's no doubt about that. I'm not concerned. So where we are right now, we've had the previous high point here at the 19th of October, which is around 5.2 cents. So we're still far off the all-time high here at 10 cents. So we've got a bit of a way to go before we do that, but we managed to get at least around halfway there, right? So what we're seeing right now is a bit of a correction. This is pretty normal, especially after the major run that it's had. So far we've had roughly a 34% reduction since that high point on the 19th of October. If you remember in previous videos, we drew areas of interest in terms of potential come downs. So we managed to hit this one in our own sort of portfolio bucket, if you like, on KuCoin. Our next target is down here. Again, it's not really because we think it's a terrible project or anything. We're just anticipating the next moves, and that kind of takes us around the 44 to, well, just under 50% mark, really. Would it come down this low? It's obviously possible. We'll just have to see how this plays out over the next few days. But what am I interested in right now to see where we may be going with that? Let me just pull out this fib retracement a bit more, sort of a bit more in line with what's going on. So as you can see, we've had a few touch points on this macro support line here at 0.035. Fortunately, we've had quite a bit of resistance here as it stands, especially today. We've had to drop down to the lower point of this first buy, lower end of the buy opportunity that we put in here, around 3.3 cents. So it's going to be interesting in these next 2-3 days how this pans out, because the actual volumes of selling have not been gigantic. We've had this tail off in the histogram you can see down here in the mid part where I'm hovering my mouse around. Now this is indicating that we've had the big spectrum of intake, we've had the cooling off period, we're now into pretty much a full-on selling mode, but not massive. These aren't big tails, so that's indicating to me, as it stands, it might change as people sort of panic and potentially get the weak hands, as it were. At the moment, it's reflecting to me psychologically that people are still massively believing in this project, and it's just arguably an opportunity to accumulate as we hit the bottom line. So there's going to be people that are profit taking or perhaps missed this opportunity and now thinking again like, oh well, I've missed that one, I'll probably do it now before it full on tanks or something. We get that. Like, everyone's got their own strategy, everyone's got their own thought process, no right or wrong. It's what you feel comfortable doing and what's important to you, and how you're managing the strategy of your assets. So I do think in my honest opinion, I do think we could still come down to these areas, not immediately, but gradually, possibly, before we might start seeing where we might start seeing some proper resistance moves. Because like I said, we've had this gigantic leap, right? There's no real kind of support mechanism around this area other than like way back here, which was extremely minimal. Okay, so we're actually roughly right now on a price point. If you see it, there's a little dotted red line. I can just about see it. And it's kind of touching upon these previous dip ups, like where was it, the 1st of April, and around this March, 20th of March as well. So it's very much floating around on those previous markers, and that's where we are pretty much right now. Okay, so it's going to be really interesting to see if we break further down that. And like I said, with this momentum, if this momentum continues in this kind of direction, and the RSI is continuing to drop a bit, and the MACD's clearly switched over here, so you've got the blue line crossing over the orange, indicating over the EMA here. This is kind of a move where we see, okay, we're going into a bit of a dip here. The question is how long for. So I do believe, as I mentioned, we may come back down to this area, and it will confirm around this sort of area where you see here, 10th of October, 13th, 14th, and arguably maybe the 15th as well, where that might see some resistance. And this is the area where I think is going to be of major interest, because that will really start defining how confident we are. And that would reflect around a 45 to 50% retracement from that top bit, which is really reasonable in my opinion. But I think because we're in such a bull market momentum across multiple charts at the moment, I do think it might be a quick turnaround. So the key aspects for me is obtaining confirmed support at this level here around 3.5 cents. If we can do that, if we can get a close over this marker over the next 2-3 days and continue to stay up on that, above that, we'll probably tail this back upwards. But if we don't and we dip down here and there's negativity starts kicking in, I do generally believe we'll start testing these areas down here. So keep an eye on this, guys. Be conservative with your investment thoughts. Just have a think before you do anything as to where we are going and what we're trying to achieve here. So that's my honest opinion of what I think is going to be happening with XPR in the next few days. The RSI is picking down to 60. If this starts getting to that 50 mark, you're sort of in a big limbo moment, and that's, if we get to the 50, that's where I think we might be here. I generally think that. So we just have to keep an eye on that. We'll do an update video on XPR in a couple of days time. Like I said, we're not doing full-on hype videos all the time. It's not all about the excitement. It's about, okay, this has happened. What's our next move? And these are mine personally. They're not financial advice. That's what I'm doing. Let us know in the comments below what you're doing. Are you just holding and accumulating? Are you selling? You worried? Let us know in the comments below exactly what you're thinking about XPR right now, because this was coming, guys. There's no doubt about it. We called it in a few videos back, just to be wary of this position of uprising. As much as we love it and we believe in it, we've got to adhere to essentially the psychology and then the physics, if you like, of proper chart healthy movements. We don't want to see massive parabolic rises, because you just get parabolic corrections. But this is looking tasty, guys, because we're having a nice development of a slow wave down. So it's really testing the confidence that we have in this. So let's see how it goes. We'll catch you guys in the next XPR video. I need to go and get a glass of water. We'll see you in the next update video. Take care and bye bye.